What's up? What's
What's
up?
up, you two family?
All right, guys. It's your girl Shan
It's your
and
boy. I almost said Shan. Because we normally do it. I do that first, and you do it. I say this your girl. I mean, you just mess me up. All right, let's try this over again. It's your boy Clem and your girl who?
I said my name already.
Can you say it again?
Shan.
Thank you, because you messed me up. When you did that, it threw me off. And I'm like, I almost said, this your girl. I said, wait a minute. You messed me up, man. You got two Shans. All right. But let's get it to
There's
it,
only
man.
one me.
Let's get it. We normally erase these bloopers, but we're going to keep it in there, man.
We're going to keep it on in there. We're going to keep it going.
Not perfect.
Nope. Not at all. Not at all.
But you have to have a sense of humor, man, and
We
laugh
do.
about some things, man. It's
Yes.
all about life, man.
It
But other than
is.
that, let's get into this
All
Trump
right.
raid, man.
Trump raid. So it says the Trump raid is not about classified information from the former assistant U.S. attorney.
Right.
So we're going to find out more about this raid and why they really don't want us to choose a different
it's like it's a sack of
president.
potatoes, man. At the end of the day, man, I ain't used that word in a long time. Sack of potatoes.
It's okay. It's okay.
But I just think it's foolishness, man. You know,
It's ridiculous.
This is crazy.
I think it's the lowest of the low to do this.
Yeah, this dirty, man.
This
is real dirty.
this right here was like, what? Wow. But we're going to get into this from Fox News. All right.
Let's get it.
Ready? All right.
Andy, I want to start with you first because on Wednesday we heard the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, talk about the search warrant. He said that he signed it personally. Let's listen to this.
So proud of himself.
I personally approved the decision to seek a search warrant. Second, the department does not take such a decision lightly.
He says they don't take the decision lightly, yet there was such an escalation here, right? President Trump says there was cooperation. He was handing things over. He was working with the agents that were in charge of this case, yet they went from 0 to 60 within the matter of weeks.
That's right.
Your take on where we are right now?
You know, Jackie, I think he was goaded into saying that he reviewed it personally because we went through several days where the coverage of it was as if he was a spectator, as if he was a passenger on the ship, not the captain of the ship, which the Attorney General is supposed to be. So I think a lot of his statement the other day was theater in that regard to correct that impression. Ultimately, I think he's going to be sorry he said that he personally reviewed this warrant because, you know, we're talking a lot about the classified information aspect of it. This warrant is so open-ended and it so defies the Fourth Amendment's requirement that a warrant specifically describe the things that the agents are allowed to seize. This is a general warrant. This is basically what we have the Fourth Amendment to prevent. It's so, I mean, you just mentioned before, every shred of paper that was generated by the Trump administration can be collected under this warrant. It doesn't have to have an iota of connection to classified information or classified intelligence.
And I'm glad that you brought that up. I just want to read part of the Fourth Amendment for everybody. The right of people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. No warrant shall issue but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Now, they did unseal the warrant, but that doesn't really give us that much information, right?
No.
We really need to see that affidavit in support of the search warrant to understand what was certified there.
We have to see the search warrant affidavit to get the probable cause. But what I would suggest to people is we continue to talk about the 11 boxes of classified stuff. There were 45 boxes taken.
Wow.
45. So they took, math is not my big speed, right? So, but there's an awful lot of boxes that don't have anything to do with classified information. And if you look at the warrant, they not only were able to take every shred of paper, the way this worked was if they found a box that had one low-level classified document in it, they were able to take the whole box, its contents, and any boxes that were next to the box.
No.
So there was no limitation on this whatsoever. It's not about classified information.
And what about this latest news that we're hearing from Lucas, that a Trump attorney certified in June that no classified material was at the Trump estate? I mean, we're really digging into the weeds here on what is classified, what wasn't. Maybe
So
it
what
was
do they
marked,
want?
maybe it wasn't. But essentially, that attorney would be putting his entire career, reputation, everything on the line and making that certification.
And I'll get to that question in a second. But first, I mean, that Donald Trump was accused of espionage. This is the guy who put America first, who was looking out for American jobs, American industry. He fought China to get better trade deals. He was going after the Germans to shut down the pipeline with the Russians. He wanted NATO to pay more money. He was trying to secure the border, making sure we had the dollar as a reserve currency. He was all about America. That this guy would be the one who's going to commit espionage is unbelief, I think, even for Democrats. But to your point, and to Andy's point as well, this search warrant was so broad, it said in the warrant, this is indicative of what they were actually looking for. It says, all physical documents and records constituting evidence, contraband, and fruits of a crime. Now, if you want to go after classified information, they could have specified classified information. They didn't.
Right.
They're looking for fruits of a crime. So what does that mean, Jackie? It means that this is really an extension of the January 6th hearings. They're looking for more evidence of crimes for Donald Trump, and this is the umbrella in which they're doing it, saying it's classified information. Donald had secret information in regard to nuclear weapons. We're going to use that pretense to get information to try to convict him in regard to something else, and it's so broad-based. One last point. It's not just boxes. They can get pieces of paper. They could look in teacups. All throughout his house, little crannies and nooks all over the house they could search, because that's where Donald Trump could have stashed one little slice of paper that could have been top secret, and therefore they can search it. They had carte blanche in this whole house.
Right. And we also have a soundbite from John Solomon. He's talking about how Trump's office essentially said that he had a standing order that the documents taken to his residence were declassified. Let's listen.
You're the guy with the gun, the person who would do anything to protect the ones you love. But did you know you could go to jail for simply doing the right thing to keep your family safe? Don't end up behind bars because you didn't.
This is from President Trump's office. It just came in a few minutes ago. President Trump, in order to prepare the work the next day, often took documents, including classified documents, to the residence. He had a standing order that documents removed from the Oval Office and taken to the residence were deemed to be declassified. The power to classify and declassify documents rests solely with the President of the United States. The idea that some paper-pushing bureaucrat with classification authority delegated by the President needs to approve the declassification is absurd.
Tammy, your reaction?
Well, I think that speaks to kind of the heart of the matter here, right? Is that people can't forget that Donald Trump was the president. Someone like Hillary Clinton was not the president. Sandy Berger was not the president.
Exactly.
Everyone else does not fall under this framework.
Man.
What I think they don't want to admit, maybe can't stand, is that Donald Trump was the most powerful man in the world, and he was the decision maker. And so I think these arguments are going to come down to that kind of a push about whether or not you can deem something that way that's still stamped, that it's not classified, if there's some paper pushing that needs to happen or things need to be crossed out.
The man just
if
cleared
that's
that.
our argument,
He just cleared that. He just got up there in the podium and said, listen, he's the president of the United States of America. He was able to take some things home.
But he also
That was
said that he
classified,
declassified the document.
Exactly. Yes.
So again, like, I mean, even you going through nicks and crannies, and you really think he had time to put it in behind the secret garden and outside, and y'all search there and y'all find a receipt from somewhere that they just take that. I really don't get it. I think they just wanted to.
I just think it was a bully move. That's all it was, man.
Yeah, that too.
That's it.
It's
man.
just
bully
a part
move
of the.
Just be doing something that we gonna raid President Trump. We gonna try to find something. You gotta find something.
Because
how they went about it was wrong. The bottom line, man, he used to be the president of the United States of America, and I don't see how they did that.
My thing is,
I really don't, man.
I'm
trying to figure this thing out because, like you said, Secret Service is there watching out for the president, every former president, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do they just let him in the gate?
It's a great question. I mean,
it would be a standoff.
Hey, they showed a warrant. I guess they abided by the rules with that, and a general warrant can take any document. But then
they just said it. Then the man just signed his death wish by saying I signed it personally.
You're welcome. Like, okay, calm down, big dog. Calm down.
Right,
but I don't know. Just something to prove, I guess.
It was a mistake. And it also, we have to remember, and there's so much information, that this warrant was approved, I believe, 3 days before the raid. So full 72 hours seems like not so urgent at some point with that regard. But also remember, I think it was the day before he was set to go into the New York Attorney General's office for a deposition regarding another issue. Within 90 days of an election, it seems like so many things happening so conveniently as a distraction in some sense of like a piling on. And the American people notice this. This becomes the issue for the FBI, is legitimacy and how much this piles on to what we've been dealing with for the past 7 years. And we're noticing that he has not been affected so much before, and even the Democrats have noticed that unless this was some huge smoking gun, this was too much.
Yeah.
I'm going to read a little bit from the Espionage Act because it was included in the warrant, and it reads specifically, whoever being entrusted with or having lawful possession or control of any document, writing, code book, signal book, sketch, photograph, photographic negative, blueprint, plan, map, model, note, or information relating to the national defense through gross negligence permits the same to be removed from its proper place of custody or delivered to anyone in violation of his trust or to be list, stolen, abstracted, destroyed, or shall be punished by a fine of not more than $10,000 or by imprisonment for not more than 2 years or both. Andy?
No.
So are they not? So now they trying to charge him with espionage now?
No, man, they're not doing that.
Oh my God!
It's a power move, man.
It is.
It's just a power move.
Well, look, that sounds like it covers everything, right? And the warrant covers everything, so we got everything covered. They are not going to prosecute him on the Espionage Act. And I would again point out that there were 3 statutes that are cited in the warrant. 2 of them have nothing to do with classified information. It's just government records. So I think the objective here was to gather as much information as they could. They used, when I say pretextual, I'm not saying that they lied to get the warrant, but they had the excuse of going in to get the classified information, so they exploited it to get everything.
Exactly.
So if they went in and they found something else that they deemed to be in the commission of another crime, it wasn't necessarily with respect to these documents, they could take it. They could use their judgment at that point and take it.
The law says that. So, for example, if the agents go in and they are looking for crime A and they see obvious evidence of crime B, if I go in on a gun case and I see a pile of narcotics on the table, I can take the narcotics. I'm not required to turn a blind eye to it. But here, they had a warrant that told them they could take everything. And it's not tied to particular crimes, and it's certainly not tied only to classified crimes.
Right.
So I don't see this ever resulting in a classified information indictment. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to make a fraud on the government or obstruction of Congress case on Trump in connection with January 6th, and they're hoping they hit a home run.
It's a fishing expedition, and it proves his argument that it's him against a system that's after him and that this was political.
We're going to have to leave it there.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here
Power
to...
move, baby. Power move. That's all it is.
That was a power move.
All it was,
I
man.
mean,
That's crazy, man.
So basically what you're saying is Mar-a-Lago has no more papers in it.
Wow.
Because they took everything. That's a big old place. They took everything. There's not a sheet of paper in their place. That is insane.
Like, baby, they even took the groceries.
Okay, so they didn't take electronics.
Oh, man.
Electronic devices,
that's
just boxes
crazy,
and
man.
boxes of papers. And if a paper was in one box that identified something, they just took that whole box. Wow.
All right, YouTube family. Yeah, that's
Power move.
That's
But
another
hey.
one. That's another. Oh man.
All right, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. This right here is just getting out of control.
Yes, it is.
And we will see y'all later.